The big issue with Euphoria, the first diss track from Kendrick, was that he didn't give everything he had. And now slowly with this next track, with 616 and LA, he brings in details that fans want to know. One of these details is that Drake has snakes around him. And this has been a theory that's been going on for a long time. Also recently, there's a leak by Kendrick re-released onto the internet called Burn, where Kendrick talks about having Judases in his table. The first one being that, Drake has this whole series of songs where he has his best bars, his best lyrics. He raps the best on it, which is, 6 p.m. in Toronto, 9 a.m. in Dallas. Drop which one's your favorite in the comments, actually. 616 is also Father's Day, which is also a jab at Drake, being quote-unquote not a really good father, as Pusha T said in the past, and as Kendrick says again in his previous diss. So the name alone goes crazy. And you can also extrapolate the name 616 and LA, where Drake kind of back and forth has said that he's bigger than him in his own city. Kendrick is kind of backing down on the whole, I'm from LA, I'm gonna reinforce that in the name. Lots of fucking insinuations here. Lots of reinforced themes. So we're gonna listen to the track. It's made for Kendrick to rap. And someone said here too that the flow was so cold. I love it when Kendrick does this thing where he kind of he just attacks the beat. He's like, no. Something here
white t-shirt, the sightseer, trifecta, money, morals, and culture. That's my leisure.
He just goes it's so consistent, but it's also him trying to. It sounds like he's attacking the beat, and that's what I think people wanted to hear. I compare this track a lot to the Heart series. Heart Part 5 and Heart Part 4, where Kendrick kind of talks about where he's at in life before delving into the diss.
Off-right Sunseeker, hit the marina. Fuck a phantom, I like to buy yes when I get the fever.
Wine cooler spill on my white t-shirt, the sightseer. This is something that Kendrick does whenever he wants to have a moment on a song. He does that to the Heart Part 4, Heart Part 5, even some of the tracks on Damn 2, which is, description of a luxurious lifestyle, I guess. But what's important about it is this. It's that Drake does this a lot too. Go listen to Middle of the Ocean on Her Loss, where he talks about this completely unrelatable lifestyle where he's expensive and he's rich and he's doing things that even the richest of the rich aren't really doing. So my point is, Kendrick kind of does that too. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. He's done it before. But he gets into your head like that. And he does it better, in my opinion. Drake always does it in a slow flow.
I'm in the Masoni room at the Bibelos. The boat was rocking too much on some Aaliyah shit.
Off-right Sunseeker, hit the marina. Fuck a phantom, I like to buy yes when I get the fever. Wine cooler, spill on my white t-shirt, the sightseer. Trifecta, money, morals, and culture. That's my leisure, my visa. Passport tatted, that's your hub in Ibiza. Luke Cali's dwellers in Brooklyn just to book me some pizza. Who can reach us? Only God can teleport this type of freedom. God, my confession is yours. But who am I if I don't go to war?
These lyrics, he's talking to God, which is the very mature Kendrick that we saw on Mr. Morale, which is the one that's a father now, but also kind of reflective on himself, which is already distinguished from Drake. Drake is known to be a man-child, still worried about fucking bitches, also not worried about his son that much and being a father. The whole point of it is that Kendrick's kind of showing early on that he has this whole... He's like the Super Saiyan 3, where he's mature at his biggest, at the end of his growth cycle. We're going into it too far, I guess, but there's lines here saying, God, my confession is yours, but who am I if I don't go to war? There's opportunity when living with loss. I discover myself when I fall short. He's contemplating this whole beef, and he's doing it from a very mature perspective. Now, I don't know if you guys give a shit about that or not, but we're just setting the tone here. Let's just continue.
Then open me up, remember when picked up a pen, lyrics that I can trust, timid soul, staring in the mirror, asking where I was from.
Overall here, these lyrics are basically Kendrick contemplating if he should reply to Drake. Being the man he is now, mature to this point in his career, where he's a father, he's healed from all these wounds that he's had growing up, ending the generational cycle of of like that you see in Mr. Morale with his family, and like he's kind of contemplating if he should come at Drake, which is what all his fans want. At the end of the day here, everyone wants war between Drake and Kendrick. It's a beef that everyone's been looking forward to for years now. And Kendrick is like really giving it this moment its importance and priority by like showing both sides to it, you know? That does he engage or does he not engage? And he says here, a very nice lyric in my opinion. He says, "Who am I if I don't go to war?" You know? It's beautiful. Let's continue. We're heading into the belly of the beast, so let's continue.
Alien rhythms of a shooting star, the mannerisms of Raphael. I can heal and give you art, but the industry's cooked as I pick the carcass apart. Yeah, somebody's lying, I can see the vibes.
Okay. I live in the circadian rhythms of a shooting star, the mannerisms of Raphael. I can heal and give you art, but the industry's cooked as I pick the carcass apart. Lots of imagery and mannerisms and artistic metaphors, bro. What the fuck? I love this. I love this.
Carcass apart, yeah, somebody's lying, I can see the vibes on act. Even he looking compromised, let's peel the layers back. Ain't no brownie points will be in your chest, harassing ant. Fucking with good people, make good people go to bed.
Now, Academics is known to be a big Drake fan. My top 5 are Drake, and Drake. Recently in the beef, Ak was the one person instigating the beef. He was asking for a reply from Kendrick. Every single day he was like day 1 without a Kendrick response. Day 2, day 20. He was also the one who's talking to Drake, coming with information behind the scenes. So the point is, he was kind of the media, the necessary media for this beef moving forward. Ain't no brownie points will be on your chest. Harassing Ant, fucking with good people. Make good people go to bat. So Ant is also Kendrick Lamar's manager. So he's kind of like playing both sides, saying recently dragged into this drama. Drake basically uploaded 2 photos of Ant to his Instagram story, depicting Ant with OVO bags in a hand, the other being a close-up selfie with him, saying essentially that, you know, your own manager is my fan and wants to be on my side. So you have that. And Kendrick's like, you're not getting any brownie points doing this. Bringing Ant into this isn't going to make a difference in the beef. Using little, you know, antics to get to me.
Conspiracies about cash, dog, that's not even the leak. Find the jewels like cash, dog, I just need you to think. Are you finally ready to play? Have you
Okay, we started getting into the juice, the belly of the beast, the tea, as they say. Alright. Okay, so now he brings up Cash XO. Cash is the Weeknd's manager or agent, I'm not really sure. Point is, this is a double entendre because it's a reference to the Weeknd's feature on Future's album. Weeknd says that there's like people in Drake's team who are leaking things for Drake, which is a reference to the dick pic, of course. But besides that, it's also saying that Drake has snakes in his team, in his organization, in OVO. And Drake responded by insinuating that Cash is gay, okay? And so Kendrick does a comment about that. And we're gonna see why this lyric is so important, bro. Because he says that's not even the leak. That's not even the important leak. Find the truth like Cash Dog, I just need you to think.
Are you finally ready to play? Have you ever thought that OVO was working for me? Fake bully, I hate bullies. You must be a terrible person. Everyone inside your team is whispering that you deserve it.
We're going to the core of his diss track, the main argument, which is that Drake has snakes in his camp. And I don't know why Kendrick decided to say this now. Let's go a step back to 2018, where Pusha T and Drake are beefing. And Pusha T comes out with a bomb, which ends the beef, an amazing chess move, which makes Pusha T the only person to win a beef with Drake, historically. The news was that Drake had a son that no one knew about at the time, and that Drake was going to use Adonis to promote his Adidas brand deal. Point is, how did Pusha T find this information? This all goes back to OVO40, who slipped that information to a woman that was friends with Pusha T and who relayed the information back to Pusha. Why am I saying this? This shows that there are leaks coming from Drake's organization and there are possibly snakes, to which Kendrick is referring to right here. He's suggesting that OVO is compromised to be against him and using examples of Majid Jordan, I Love McConan, These are like artists that were part of OVO. And Roy Woods is another example too. These were artists part of Drake's label that Drake milked, supposedly, took their songs, took their, artistic and talent juice so that he can put it on his album. He can use the flows on his song, take the melodies for his tracks. He did this to Weeknd, by the way. He was notorious for this, And Party Next Door was also someone that Drake was notorious to like take songs from. There are songs on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late that Drake took from Party. He just said, hey, I'm taking this song, I'm putting it on my album. I'm sorry I'm not reading the comments, I'm just really locked in.
It was fun until you start to put money in the streets. They lost money cause they came back with no receipts. I'm sorry that I live a boring life. I love peace, but war ready if the world is ready to see them bleed. The Elohim KTW. No.
Kendrick is basically pointing out a notorious Drake tactic when he's beefing with someone, which is this. Drake would basically go to people that know the artist he's beefing with, people who are friends with Kendrick, people who are friends with Pusha T, offer them money for dirt on them. And this is what he did with Pusha. So with Pusha T, when he was beefing with him, Drake was hitting up known associates of the rapper and offering them hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he did the same to Kendrick, I'm assuming. So he says, it was fun until you start to put money in the streets, then lost money because they came back with no receipts. Meaning that, Drake tried to ask people around Kendrick for dirt on him, try to offer them money, but nothing came back. So I'm sorry that I live a boring life. I love peace, but war ready if the world is ready to see you bleed. He's also saying that Drake, the jig is up. It's over. All your tactics, all your antics, you've run out. You've run out of casualty. And one of them is actually next to you, and two of them is practically tired of your lifestyle. Just don't got the audacity to tell you, but let me tell you some games. Okay. These are some important bars. I love his flow here, by the way. 100 people that you got on salary, 20 of them want you as a casualty, one of them is actually next to you, and two of them is practically tied to your lifestyle. Just don't got the audacity to tell you. Okay, what is Kendrick saying here? Kendrick is really enforcing the idea that Drake's circle is compromised and he's surrounded by yes men. This is something we see with Kanye West too, where like nobody can really tell him what they think about him. But the difference is that Drake has them on payroll, according to Kendrick. There's a million reasons why you could imagine Drake, Drake's people having problems with him. But the point is, it could also be like him suppressing his own artists. So my point is with all of this, that Kendrick is saying that nobody really fucks with Drake. Really, this is a very big insecurity for the rapper. It's a very strong argument to use against Drake. The biggest artist in the world, but his own people don't fuck with him. His own people are tied to him. They're forced to him. Kendrick says here that two of them are practically tied to your lifestyle. They just don't have the audacity to tell you.
You playing dirty with propaganda, hit blow up on you. You're playing dirty with Zach B and Twitter bots, but your reality can't hide behind Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Your little means is losing steam. They figured you out. The forced opinions is not convincing. I need a new route.
Okay. This is a personal theory, so this is subjective, so I might be wrong, alright? Point is this. I'm 100% sure that when Kendrick dropped his last diss track, which was Euphoria, Drake had the biggest meme pages on payroll because they like within minutes of the new track coming out, they were shitting on it. They were going hard with the memes. Drake has been historically known to use the internet to propagate and post his his agenda, which is, the memes making fun of One Dance, which pushed the song to fame, the memes making fun of him and his nail polish. All of that stuff has done nothing but help Drake. It's been very planned, quote-unquote propaganda. And now he's used that propaganda through the different meme pages to control you, the audience, about what your opinion is. The point is, Drake has the internet on lock. So, and this has been very smart for Drake. I gotta give him his props. It's fucking dope. Not gonna lie. But, Kendrick comes back and says, you're playing dirty with that. It'll blow up on you. You're playing nerdy with Zach Bia and Twitter bots. Zach Bia is like an internet entertainer who is known to be have ties with Drake. And he says, but your reality can't hide behind the Wi-Fi. Your little memes are losing steam. They figured you out. The forced opinions is not convincing. Y'all need a new route. Now, I want to see what Genius says about this. Around or who's around you before you figure that you're not alone. Ask what Mike would do. Damn, bro. Damn, I can't fucking wait for the next. I just want Drake to make a move. Speaking in more direct terms for this track, and wants it known that Drake has no allies. You're not alone. Of course, sets up another Michael Jackson dig. By the way, Euphoria was a 19-minute track. It was 19 minutes long. And it ended up just being a 6-minute cut in the last version. Kendrick probably has so much more that he's hiding. And I just look forward to see what's next. I can't just... someone mentioned this, by the way. I don't know if you're still in the chat. Someone mentioned that Kendrick might be dropping an album. There were rumors 2 months ago that Kendrick has an album that's going to drop in May. So, you know, his last album was 2 years ago. You know, it might be time for another Kendrick project. And I think that's the best way for him to capitalize over these two insane diss tracks. Especially this one. But anyways, let's see what you guys think.